Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Enneagram and Coaching. I'm Hillary, your certified Enneagram coach, and today I'm going to teach you guys what it's like to work with a type 5 in the workplace. Okay, so what's my why? Why do I do this? Well, like I said, I'm a certified Enneagram coach, and I truly believe it's important to teach about personalities, to get behind the why people are the way they are, and to learn to embrace each other, accept each other, and work more cohesively together. And so that's what I'm doing today. I'm teaching you guys what it's like to work with a type 5. Even if you are a 5, I 100% believe this is going to help you because 1, this is going to help you discover how people see you, and 2, I have some stuff for you. I have some tips on growth and different areas like that. And so I just feel like if you are a 5, you work with a 5, you work for a 5, or you just have a 5 in your life, this video is for you. It's going to help you understand the 5 and just accept who they are and not have that expectation that they're going to show up to life the way you show up to life, because that is not okay. It's not fair. And what makes this world so beautiful is that we are all different. And so let's learn to accept and embrace each other. So I want to start with, who are they? Who are the type 5s? The type 5s, they're called the investigator, the observer. They're going to be the most logical, analytical people that you meet. Type 5s, they are the deep thinkers, problem solvers, innovators. They're in the thinking triad. You know those triads? There's the thinking triad, the heart triad, and the gut triad, which means they depend on their thoughts way more than they depend on their feelings or even their gut instinct. It's super rare for you to hear them say, I feel statements. You're more than likely going to hear them say, I think statements. Type 5s are normally introverts, not all of them, because there is a social type 5 that can be a little extroverted, but usually they are introverts. They would much rather observe, especially if they're in a large crowd, than participate. They do better in smaller groups than larger ones. They tend to be minimalist and don't need or want many things. That actually can feel overwhelming for them if they have so much surrounding them. And so they really like minimalist things. And my example, my son, he's a type 5, he's 17. He does not like anything on his walls in his bedroom. He's minimalist. He does have one shelf, but other than that, he likes his walls crisp and clean, which was so hard for me to understand as he was growing up, but I learned to just respect that it's his bedroom and that's how he likes it. Because really, they prefer a much simpler life and things can just overwhelm them. The type 5, they're in the withdrawn stance, which if you don't know what a stance is, I'll link that video down below because I have a stances video that explains way better than I'm going to do right now, but the condensed version is the 4, 5s, and 9s. They're in that withdrawn stance, which means it can make them seem very distant and reserved at times. They want to collect knowledge and uncover truth. They want to be capable and competent. Type 5s, they learn by searching, figuring things out, figuring out that why behind the why things are the way they are, asking questions, they test truth, and then they challenge assumptions. So they're not afraid of conflict. They're not afraid of challenging. Now, they're not going to like get in your face and challenge you. No. But they do like challenging things. They like challenging the why. They like figuring things out because why? The more they know, the more confidence and security they feel they have. Okay, I want to move on next to the strengths of the type 5. The first strength is a healthy 5. They could be calm and focused in decision making. So they're great to have on your team, right? Because they're the ones that, even if like things are chaotic and going crazy, your type 5, they remain calm and focused and can figure things out because they have this amazing ability to focus on the task at hand. Another strength is they are constantly learning and picking up new things. And so they're always gathering knowledge, they're always learning, and they're always able to apply that. A really good one is they are able to think all the way through a complex problem, right? And so they're the ones that you want to give those complex problems to because they can think it all the way through, start to finish. They will do all the research. They don't mind that it'll take them hours and hours and hours. They're going to think it all the way through and research it all the way through. Another great strength is they give people the space to be themselves and to do what needs to be done. And why? Because the 5 actually needs space. And so they are really good at giving what they need in that area. They need a lot of space. And so they want to give everyone else the space to figure themselves out and to do what needs to be done. They say that 5s, they're never going to be the micromanager at the job. They will give you the space to figure it out. Another strength is they aren't going to necessarily put their emotion into things that they are working on. Just lots of thinking and trying to figure things out with their head, not their heart when they're working on a project. And the last one, 5s are great at gathering the info necessary to get the job done. Okay, so let's move on to areas of development for the type 5. So in this one, the type 5s, their greatest strength can be their greatest weakness. And what I mean by that is, while they are so good at gathering and evaluating information, they can get lost in the data, right? So like I said, that strength of them being able to work on it for hours and hours and hours at a time, well, they actually can get lost in that data, and that could become a weakness that will hinder them from taking action. So they get so into what they are learning that they do not take action and move quickly enough on what the data tells them. Another one where your greatest strength is your greatest weakness is because they can detach from their emotions. This can make it hard for them to relate to the emotions of others, especially on their team or the people they work with, because they are able to detach so well, they're not going to necessarily know how to relate to everyone. Another area of development for the type 5s, they can resist doing tasks that are outside their comfort zone. If they don't feel like they're skilled enough to try it, they're not gonna probably try it. The last one in the areas of development for the type 5 is they have a difficulty sharing their personal information, especially at work. It actually can feel kind of dangerous to a type 5, but this is actually an area that should be developed. I would say to the type 5, especially if you're watching, try and share a little bit more of your personal info with those that you trust at work as a way of building deeper relationships, and this will lead to more effective teamwork. So that would be an area of development for a type 5. Let's move on to, you might be working with a type 5-if. The first one is they go in their office, they shut their door, and they do not come out very often. And if you feel like it's not okay to knock on the door and bother them, yeah, you might be working with a type 5. They're not really into people stopping by and just chatting with them. Another one, they don't often attend social gatherings, especially if it's during the workday. That's just not for them. Another good one, they're quiet in meetings, but they're always listening. They're always taking mental notes. They're assessing everything, and they are gathering data, but they're paying close attention to what is said. Another one is they can go on and on about something like super intelligent, right? Something so beyond, like, for me at least, my knowledge. I can listen to them and go, oh my gosh, that is like super over my head. They can go on and on about that, but they rarely share personal info, right? We kind of already talked about that in their areas of development. It's harder for them to share something personal versus something that they're highly intelligent on. Another good one, they seem like they're procrastinating, but really they just need more time to gather info. Okay, so this leads me right into a 5 feels like it's hard working with others because, first one is, if they have to work on a work project that they didn't personally pick out everyone to be on the team, it can be really hard for them to work on that team. If everyone was just picked for them, and especially if the people that are picked to be on their team don't necessarily work really hard, this is going to be hard for the type 5. That's one of their things where it's hard working on a team if they feel like they're going to end up doing all the work. Because why? They hate depending on others to get work done. They most likely like to work alone and want to do their own thing. Another hard thing for a 5 is when people bring their emotions and drama to work. And this can make a type 5 very uncomfortable. They're like, wait, we're here to work. And so while that is an area they need to work on, it does make them very uncomfortable. When expectations aren't clear, they want to know what they're signing up for and getting into, right? So if it's not plainly laid out, this could be very hard for them. The last one is when people ask more of them than they are willing to give, like time, personal info, and energy. That could be hard for them. Okay, so let's move on to what's great about working with a type 5. The first one is they have great boundaries, and they respect other people's boundaries too. They are great at respecting people's personal space and time limits because why? They want that in return too. Type 5s, they are dependable, dedicated, and accountable. You can count on a type 5 to bring a high level of excellence to their work, high quality to everything that they do. Type 5s, they can maintain their objectivity when everybody else is getting emotional. They're the ones that are like, nope, I'm staying in the zone. They, like I think I said at the very beginning, they're calm, cool, and collected, and they maintain their objectivity. They don't get lost in emotions. Another great thing about working with a 5 is they love learning. They love gathering knowledge. They love doing work that increases their knowledge. Okay, so let's move on to ways to communicate with the type 5. The first one is allow a lot of time and space for them to process and understand information and their own feelings. Give them a heads up about important discussions that need to happen and meetings that you put on their calendar so that they have time to start processing. They do not like surprise. They need to know ahead of time what's going on. Keep the conversation focused on facts and specific details. And if you're a 5, leave a comment down below. I think people would enjoy knowing that that is a big one for you guys. A really good way to communicate with a type 5 is inform them how long you're gonna need to communicate with them, right? So for an example, you're like, hey, so-and-so, I need 10 minutes of your time. give them that. Give them a number. Don't just say, hey, can we just talk? I need to talk with you. They would appreciate just knowing that you just need 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And one thing that people don't understand is they are managing their internal resources, right? And so if you just give them a time limit, like, hey, 5 minutes is all I need, stick to it. That is a great way to communicate with them. They're going to appreciate that. Last one, respect their boundaries. They're great at respecting yours, respect theirs too. Like I said already, they don't like surprises, they don't like intrusions or obligations. They like their boundaries to be respected. Okay, so moving on to how to get along with a type 5. First one, keep conversations straightforward and to the point. We've kind of already covered that. I'm just saying it a little different way. Do not exhaust them with long, drawn out stories. That's just hard for a type 5. Trust and confidentiality are extremely important for the type 5. Don't talk about what they've shared with you with others. That will break their trust with you. Give them time, space, and privacy without interruption. Because why? They have a battery, right? We all have, I like to think of it as we all have batteries, and they are aware of how much theirs are being depleted during the day, and theirs gets depleted way faster than other people's. And so they actually need to recharge their battery more often than other people do. And how do they recharge? With space and privacy and not being intruded on. That is actually recharging their battery. So, okay, another way to get along with the type 5, they have a hard time asking for help. So if you see a need or you see a way you can help them, do it. Do it in a low-key way. They don't want attention. They don't want people to be like, oh, hey, so-and-so, you need my help? They're gonna say no. But a low-key way, just, quietly help them. They will really, really appreciate that because they don't like unwanted attention. Last one is, don't be overly clingy or needy. They need people to be more independent. Like I said, they're never going to be those micromanagers. They appreciate when people are more independent around them and don't need so much for them because, like I already said, their battery gets depleted fast, and so it's important for you to not be overly needy to them. Okay, so let's move on to what motivates a type 5. Okay, so the first one is the type 5s, they tend to be motivated by learning a new skill or technique and discovering something new about the world. Those kind of things, that motivates them. What's another good motivator? Well, they want to feel valued and appreciated. And when they do, it motivates them to want to do more. And the last one, alone time. Alone time motivates a type 5. I know that at this point, that's not a shocker. They need this time to think and to reconnect with themselves. So it's an important one because it does motivate them. Okay, so the last one I want to share is growth practices for the type 5. First one is, guys, learn to recognize when you are withdrawing. I know you are in that withdrawing stance, that's okay, but you need to learn the why. Why are you withdrawing? Is it a time where it's okay to withdraw? Is it a healthy withdrawal, one that you're just gonna go and recharge? Or is it because you prefer to be alone? The growth part is sometimes you do need to engage with others. That's why we want you to learn to recognize when you are withdrawing and the why behind it. Another good one is learn to connect with your emotions and work through them. The growth work is to get in touch with your emotions in the moment and eventually learning to communicate more about your feelings while you're interacting with others. And the last growth practice I have today for the type 5 is the type 5 sometimes has an excessive concern with conserving energy. While we've talked about it this whole time about it is important, the problem can be if it's excessive. If you constantly need to be alone, you're constantly needing to pull away and conserve your energy. But when it becomes excessive, it's because you feel like you will become exhausted, extremely depleted if you allow more connection with others. But what can help with this is exercise, movement, doing activity. It could be all types of exercise, even yoga. I've heard that can help too. Anything like that actually builds up a natural energy, and you'll have more inner resources and more energy than you think you do. And so getting out, doing physical activity, like I said, it doesn't matter what it is, anything that gets your body moving will actually build up energy reserves, and so that you won't always feel like, oh my gosh, I might be depleted if I talk to so-and-so. So anyways, I'm just trying to help you find ways to build up your energy reserve. So those were some growth practices for the type 5. Okay guys, well that's all I have for today. Those were 10 tips on working with a type 5, or if you are a type 5, I hope some of this helped you see yourself the way the world sees you and helped you understand yourself better. So whether you work for a 5, you work with a 5, you are a 5, or you're just, around a 5 in your life, like me with my type 5 son. I really believe that this video can help you and help you guys work better together, more cohesively, have a better team atmosphere. I know the workplace looks different for everybody right now. I wanted to just give 10 tips on making things better for the type 5 in the workplace. And so I hope that did. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And do not forget to subscribe. I have all the other type videos coming out. And then I'm also doing mistypes for all 9 types. So that's a series that I'm working on right now. And there's so much more coming. So I appreciate it when you subscribe. I really do, guys. If you want to find me on social media, I'm Hillary_McCaskey_coaching. I also have a website, EnneagramandCoaching.com. You can find me either of those places. If you need help even typing yourself, if you're watching this video going, I think I'm a type 5, but I'm not for sure, I have a Discover You session that you can purchase on my website. I also do Enneagram monthly coaching sessions. And then I also have an Enneagram blueprint that I have personally made for purchase. And it's just like a blueprint of the Enneagram. It helps you just have a quick reference guide on all 9 types. So if you want to purchase that, go to my website. And type 6, you're next on the docket. So I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.